Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhan dhammang sanghang namasami. Today is full moon day of November, or the full moon of Kartika month of Pali calendar, and also for us in the middle of quiet week. I believe everybody is appreciating the opportunity. Myself too. This is after our big event of Katina, and after the tidying up, so we are just in the middle of a quiet week. And I have to say I'm still recovering from Katina time. I avoid to use this phrase, but I can't help saying I'm getting old. So I think when I have to work, I can still focus on my energy. I can perform duties, at least from my side. But the recovery time is getting longer and longer. So this quiet week is quite helpful to me. And also, I think after I came back from Japan, it was the 23rd of October, about 3 weeks ago. And soon after that, only 2 or 3 days' time, I went up to Hanam to attend their Katina and also Sangha meeting, Elders Council meeting. And when I came back here, more actively engaged in Katina preparation. And also, people often ask me how it was my time in Japan. It's 3 weeks already passed, so I have to sort of think how it was. It's only 3 weeks, you may say, but to me, almost like a different world. And the first thing I always say is it was very hot, very intense summer heat, and also very long summer. It's getting stronger and heavier. Temperature-wise, I don't have to go to that far, but temperature-wise, 37 degrees, 38. But humidity is so high, so like you feel like heat is sealed. You can't let your heat out. And then night time, still 27 degrees. So it's just like a tropical night. And it's long summer. I still remember late September. It should be already onset of autumn time, but temperature still reached 35, something like this. So it is unusual, but this unusual weather or climate is getting new normal is when we use this word for pandemic, but different new normal. So weather climate is definitely changing. And my time there, many of you know, last several years or longer, I spent almost half, not almost, about half of the time there, 3 months here, 3 months there, 3 months here. So always I stay in a house where I grew up, born and grew up. So it is my family's house, but my father died long time ago. My brother died some years ago, and my mother died 6 years ago. So it became my responsibility. And so I'm there to spend time. And the location, maybe I just explain location-wise, it's suburb of second big city, second city in Japan, and Osaka. So it's commutable to Osaka. It's not very far away, but the house is in a countryside, end of country lane, just on a hill. Behind the house is provincial nature park. So nice location, you may say, but access is not very good. The road is lane is quite narrow, and then getting steep. So the supporters, let's say lay people, very kind people to support my life there. It's not convenient, at least. So how my life is supported there? I live there on my own without any lay supporter staying there. But they can visit and bring food, or I'll be invited to eating places outside. But most of the times, lay people, lay supporters, already they formed a kind of group to support my life, particularly eating. So the catering service is available. Countryside catering service is not very convenient, not like in the city areas, minimum choice. But very fortunately, they found catering service. So that's a really main source or main connection for my daily meal. And so first half of my time there is just physically so challenging, more than challenging. Couldn't motivate myself to do anything really. But it's not only me. When I talk with the people in Japan, they say the same thing. So I didn't have to feel too bad about it. And when the weather became reasonable, better, I became more active. So every weekend I had teaching occasions, either in nearby area or sometimes I went to Tokyo or other big cities, just using in the monastic rules, we say sataha allowance, although it is a wasa, but 6 up to 6 nights, we're okay to go have a traveling for if you have a proper reasons. So I would say it's not very eventful. Everything went very smoothly, and particularly lay supporters, very kind offerings, very kind and sincere. But also teaching occasions, it's nothing new. I always do when I'm there, but just to repeat again and again to get more sense of connection, familiarity, or even the trust. And trusting people, maybe we like the word. It's a significant word, trusting people, developing a connection, trusting people. But this is not some theoretical, but it requires a time. We meet again. So familiarity comes in. We know more, some of the good sides, possibly the other side too. But then our encounter becomes more sort of in totality, and then natural and maybe true sense of trust will be forming. This is my understanding and experience. So although I go there quite regularly, but still I feel this connection is being formed. And so 23rd of October when I came back, arrived back to Amaravati and back to Bhikkhu Vihara. It's as I said, different world, but also very clear, strong sense of what is it? Safety, protection, peace. I'm not saying when I was in Japan I didn't experience any of them. It's a safe country, and the house I stayed is a safe place, supported by good people, and reasonably peaceful too. But a different experience, very clear sense, safe. If you think of this place, Amaravati, you know this is 40 years already. So 40 years, I'm the Theravada tradition. It is a 2,500 years or even longer. Yes, that scale of time is there, but actually what really matters to us or to me is this place has a 40 years. So 40 years has significant meaning. It's not like building a community physical structure to, let's say, human network, or what I said just now, sense of trust, and then learning, practicing every day. People do change, but still this place is a place to come, to learn, practice. So this is 40 years. Of course, it's not nothing at all. So that's 40 years people's or our endeavor. And what I felt when I came back was one significant, strong element was safety. Yeah, the layers of protection, if you like, from the, in my case, I live in a bhikkhu vihara, so fellow monks, friends, the teachers, also lay supporters, or of course sisters as a community, close, slightly distance, but layers of support and protection, physically, psychologically, anything else? Financially too. If I live in Japan, I said people very generous. I never felt shortage of financial support. It's not the case, but still I need to be very careful, because here, if we think of supporters, number of supporters, like we sent out a Christmas card, it reaches the number 1,000. Katina Day, we had 900 lay people visited here. So close, regular or not, different, but big number. So it creates the size and stability. But when I was in Japan, much smaller size. So I need to be more conscious about how much each of them is doing, not overburdening anybody. So like a catering service, if I am relying on certain people, small number of people, even if they are very keen, I will be very careful. But fortunately, I saw enough number of people, they're taking turns. So each individual's, let's say, financial not, I don't want to use the word burden, but financial parties, it's not something I have to worry. But if I am here, of course, EST, or if it's a leader like Ajahn, in the end, always they have to think how to provide the four requisites to the people living here, quite a size of community. But that's, I know, I should know. But I come back to the sense of the felt safety, because of the 40 years of layers and layers of people's endeavor. My life at Amaravati, I came to Amaravati 2001. I came to the West or to the UK to year 2000 after I was in Thailand 14 years. Then I moved to Chithurst year 2000. After 1 year there, I moved to Amaravati. So since 2001, so 24 years. So I would say out of 40 years, so the second half of Amaravati I've been living and witnessing. And that's also, even that period, an initial period, must have been rough and then more basic challenges. But even this later period too, I've seen quite a changes for, let's say, improvement, for better. Yes, we experienced the ups and downs, challenges, that's no doubt about it, but when I think of 24 years, certainly the community in many ways is getting more stable, solid, strong, and also size also increased. Not just the size of site structure, but look at number of monastics, for instance. And it's still happening. Now Amaravati's new development is happening quite in a grand scale. But for 24 years, so when I think of this change, the time, history, I think what we have now is not something automatic, or we can see it, let's say, take it for granted. But certainly 40 years, many people's struggle, devotion, dedication, all sorts of things. And also what we are doing now too, we contribute to this time, if you like, for the future too. So when I came back to experience how safe, how peaceful, was really tangible, strong experience. And also this morning, for the monks, we had a Patimokkha recitation, the recitation of our disciplinary code. And I was listening, but also sometimes I opened my eyes and saw fellow monks sitting. What is the right word? It was beautiful, yes, if I think of each individual, there's a characters, and then some people sometimes struggle or this and that. It's possible, but what I saw was today 25 monks. So the 25 of us sitting, wearing this robe, sitting quietly, hand in Anjali, something very, I can use the word beautiful. I was at the nuns meeting with Ajahn Nyanarato yesterday. I was chaplain, and when they talked about life here, the word rare was said, and Ajahn Nyanarato actually added to say this rare is capital R, rare. And when he talked, it talked about the actual number, those who show interest to have this kind of life, mentioning like Anglican Church, the whole country had only one novice, something like this. So really the quantity number-wise, rare. But special or unique or whatever the adjective we can use, when I saw the monks sitting, with this color quietly, sense of peace, joy, and I felt, I thought this is very beautiful. And when I was in Japan, I was alone. I don't think I ever met any Theravada monks even, or I had a chance to see the Mahayana monks there too, but let's say to meet with a samana didn't happen, or to say nothing of living together. So when I came back, as I said, support and protection is one strong factor, but also the presence of the samana. Very unique, very rare, very special. That was significant too. And when I think of this samana, as we chant from time to time, 10 subject of for the, what's the word? Those for going forth. One of them says, we no longer living according to the worldly aims and values. Yeah, and we can reflect on this. We can think in various ways, but it's true. We are here not for, let's say, money, not for names, not for something, any particular pleasurable things. I'm not saying that's wrong, but it's not our main aim or value. So this is, I would say, totally different from the world. And when I said special or unique, in contrast to how I felt, how I was in Japan, you see, when we are here, I repeat again, we are in the middle of layers of protection. And when I was there in Japan, yes, it's not like a dangerous or anything like this, but I am upfront to the world outside. It's not like I'm actively involved in anything particular, but the more news or talking with people or some tangible sense from how people are. So I don't have to say this too much, but how the world is now, conflict, war, division, fighting, it's very painful. I mean, when I'm here, I have probably less access. Still, if I go to the internet, I can see all the news or even the images, very painful images, videos. Somehow when I was in Japan, I have more chance to see them. So it's not necessarily my direct experience, but somehow when I was there, the really strong and the painful feeling of how the current society world is. And another strong element was this IT or digital world, how it is affecting us, from the fake information to such a fast change, you may say progress, of the amount of information or detailed information. It's not like a linear rise, probably more than exponential. So every few years, everything changes drastically. This is the expert says, and something like this, probably human beings in the past never experienced. So that kind of change, we probably, many of us, we don't have to become too critical about them. There are many good sides helping us in many ways, but there are many more confusing aspects, challenging aspects, and unknown factors. So that's also something I felt strongly that I would notice less when I'm living here. So we are not living according to worldly aims and values. And so this place, and particularly it is a monastery, so a place for the samana. It is a peaceful place. And also we know once we start living here, it's not like a peace, no pain, no challenge, no struggle at all. It is opposite, I have to say. It can become what we call pressure cooker. Possibly safe to say, and to some degree, it is designed to be so. Not like a pressure cooker itself, but to design to notice what is our conditioning. This is a basically very peace environment, and also people keep precept and also share the same aspiration for freedom or total happiness, whatever we call it, but we share the sincere aspiration. So once we come to the level of individual tendencies, character differences, conditioning, we may have different experience, conflict or some misunderstanding, but we know nobody intentionally do anything unskillful. We can make mistakes. We may have misunderstandings because of our shortcomings. Everybody has, but at least we know the danger of karma, and then what is our essential aim. So in that sense, in a really the bottom, we still have this sense of trust. And then our condition can bring up various challenges, because of our personal background, family, character, or cultural background, or generation, gender. I said generation. Like when I see my nieces, they have small children from newborn to 7, 8 years old. So for them, for these little ones, to have tablets, something like this is already, when they are very little, for us, for my generation, these computers and other things are something we acquired later. So do we need it? How can we do it? Is it useful? That kind of relation we started, and we're still learning. But for them, almost like when they're born into the digital world. So this is a very extreme example, but the generations difference. So when even in a sangha, younger people and myself, okay, how they think, how they perceive is not necessarily same or similar to how I see. I shouldn't. Let's say I need to be a bit more mindful of this. So everybody has different background, different conditioning, and possibly because of the differences, once we come to the monastery in this safe and peaceful environment, but challenges do come up. But this is opportunity to learn. I was told by one of the Japanese Zen teachers, he said, you may know their training is rather more vigorous, physically vigorous, but the why they do is actually really learn the practitioner to let go, the face first, to face their conditioning, very deep-rooted conditioning, challenges, but to learn how to let go. So we are not that far, and I can't use the word vigorous for our training, but once we know this place, why we are here, who we are here for liberation or freedom or truth, total happiness. You can use the word, but it's not just a simple journey, because that what blocks us from that is the condition we have and this peaceful environment. Although it is a peaceful environment, but once this condition come up, it challenges us. And so this personal to cultural to generational to whatever, the various condition comes up, I said. But also when I think of worldly aims and values, and the most fundamental level of challenge, conditioning is, I can say, the conditioning of being in samsaric condition, you may say, we may say. I often mention this, the word bhikkhu, Pali word to describe the monk. And I was often taught in Thailand that bhikkhu means two meanings. Number one is the beggar. We are mendicant, beggar. So like when we have a pabbaja, we take 10th precept, we give up the money. So this is a significant change to our life, or the way how we relate to the life, to the world. Because until then, at least because of money, our access relation to the world is we can choose. When we need, money is there. But once we give up them by taking a 10th precept, so now our commitment is to be mendicant. That's why we have a bowl. That's why a begging bowl. That's why we have this robes. And so the word bhikkhu, number one is the one who begs. That's the probably straightforward meaning. But also the second meaning, what I was taught was the one who sees the danger in samsara. So this actually applies to everybody. Like when we read and study suttas, or we recite chant suttas, we see the word bhikkhus. Yes, historically the scene was the Lord Buddha was giving a teachings to the monks, bhikkhus. That's why bhikkhus appeared. Then, okay, this is for the bhikkhus. We do not have to distance ourselves just seeing this historical meaning. But also, but if we see this word bhikkhus, or if you like, samana, the one who sees the danger of the samsara. So this is actually everybody who comes to here to practice. The seeing danger of the samsara. So when I see, for instance, this morning when I see the monks sitting, I liked it, I thought, beautiful. It's a rare, special, unique. And the essential reason for it is this one. This form really represents a different relation to the samsara, different relation to the world, samsara. The one who sees the danger of the samsara. You can say, well, I can say, you see the world, yes, there are many things happening, and everybody tries their best, but it is a context of, not context, but a place of samsara. I am not dismissing it, I have to be careful, but why we are here, why we are practicing, where we need to stand, who are we? So this word, to see the danger of the samsara. This is somewhere the word or phrase I like to come back regularly. And when I think of samsara, or seeing danger of the samsara, good reflection is our chanting, reflection of the unconditioned Nibbana Sutta. So Nibbana Sutta goes, it describes the nature of Nibbana, unconditioned, as a ajatang abhutang asankat, ajatang abhutang akatang asankatan. What is English translation? Unborn, unoriginated, uncreated, unformed, something like this. But you can see in the other way too. So what is the word or nature of samsara or samsaric condition, samsara? So that to be born, to originate, to create, to form, to multiply, to complicate. And this is, as I said just now, it's a really fundamental condition we have. Our being is in samsara, and this is not even conscious or unconscious. This is all constantly functioning in us, in our mind. Or even we say, okay, we are here to see the danger of samsara, but this let's say, drive or force or deep habit of to be born, to originate, to create, to form. It's such a strong habit, tendency, drive, everything. Even when we think of practice, when we come to the monastery, or you don't have to come to the monastery, meditation, learning Buddhism, or trying to learn meditation, practice. But we still follow this tendency, knowingly, unknowingly, in a short word, doing, or falling into the world of becoming. And it's at least by thinking theoretically we can think, but somehow nibbana is wonderful, something very wonderful, but what is unoriginated, what is uncreated, and we are anyway created, is too far away. Yes, it gives some idea, but so where, how, or just can't make it. We may think like this. And one simile I often refer to, I like to share now. This is from Chinese classic, possibly 1,000 years old, 1,500 years, I should remember, but I don't. And so this is a story of, it's a Chinese classic, but I don't know the exact Chinese pronunciation. For Japanese pronunciation, we call taikobo. It is about the fishing. I never done fishing, but I think you can imagine this is simply, so the person called the taikobo was doing fishing. And then fishing, everybody knows whether you have done or you never done or like or don't like, but I think everybody knows fishing is you have a fishing rod, and then fishing line, rod, line, and then you have a hook. And we, let's say, do fishing to catch the fish. So this is, everybody know, fishing. But Taikobo's fishing is, he has a fishing rod, line, but no hook. And I came to know later, actually in this Chinese classic itself, why did he do this? Because, this is nonsense. Why? But why did he do this? I can't be very accurate, but something like because doing this unusual thing, his aim was to attract attention of the emperor or the ruler of that time. So this is totally different story, but this simile, I kind of use it as a Dhamma proliferation, my own way. So now, just to be with me, please. Almost like a mental exercise. So we have a fishing rod, and the line is there, and the hook is there. Nothing special. We just imagine we are doing this. Now, we remove the hook. How is it? Uneasy. You like weird. And our mind say, what? Strange, what am I doing this? Uncomfortable. But just, we need to be patient just. And then we bring back the hook again, just in our imagination. Very familiar. Okay, I'm doing fishing. Clear. Now we remove the hook again. first, we would feel at the beginning something uncomfortable, not settled, strange, that kind of feeling. But we need, if we encourage ourselves to be a bit more patient, just without hook. It's a funny feeling, but okay, let it be, let it settle, okay. And then you can put the hook again. Something appears. Very different experience. You can say something, quote unquote, real. And once you remove it, something is not right. I think when I doing a retreat, something like this, I would take a bit more time to just. It's not like it's thinking or yes, right, but really feel it. I would like to spend more time, but just I hope you're with me. And so now I did Dhamma proliferation. So what is this hook? When we do fishing, the hook, yes, we're waiting for, or looking for fish. Where is the fish? Now no hook. So this hook, okay, I jump into my conclusion of my story. So this hook, once we have this hook, or what is this hook? It's a hook of desire, or different word if I use, hook of becoming. Where is it? Where is the fish? Where is the meaning? Where is the goal? Where is the purpose? What is this? Give me the name. Maybe I quicken the story, but when you do not have hook, it's just aware. We are aware or awake, but it's simply being awake. But now once, imagine we bring a hook, I would like to recognize the sense of something appears. So when we have this hook, the hook, what the hook is looking for, what is a fish? Meaning, purpose, or good meditation, result. Or in the world, of course, this can be the name or money or pleasure, that kind of things. But once we come to practice, for instance, still our mind goes to where is samadhi, or opposite kind, the other kind of hook. I shouldn't have this thought. Hindrances, wandering thought, defilements, so forth. So the hook, once we have a hook of tanha, desire, or hook of becoming. And I reflect on this many, many times. So if you bring this hook of becoming, a hook of tanha, time appears too. Time. Future, because this hook has an element of where, when. Waiting, yes, when we do fishing, actually we are waiting. So this is really the element of time. Future, when, how, or even how much, what. All stories start, but time appears, and then future appears. Once you have a future, the other side, past too appear. If you think a different way, the other way, if we do not have a hook, actually, time has not operated fully yet. When we say here and now, Pacchubana Dhamma, or timeless, akariko, timeless, how can we, let's say, delete, erase the time? Time is so obvious now. Now it's 9:30, 15th of November. Time, we're living in a world of time. Samsara, how can we experience timeless? How can we live timeless? It's, if you think like this, to erase time looks like impossible or too far, but this simile gives me an idea what actually time means. So once we have this hook, time appears. Instead of thinking how we removed, go beyond world concept of time, which seems impossible. Instead of thinking that way, actually, if we really understand the place of having no hook, and then bring the hook, time appears. And interesting enough, this hook, time, and also there's a, I just shorten the story. If you please visualize or using a mental exercise, doing a mental exercise, when we are holding a fishing rod without hook, it's a place of no weight, because there's no hook. But once you have a hook, word appears. Where, what, when. And this is what we call I. I immediately appears and functions, even dominate. But when we just holding a rod, but there's no hook, no weight, it's not like something very light, but neither heavy nor light. There's no idea of weight. This is significantly different. I'm not saying that this is very heavy, you have to reduce the weight. No. Idea of weight doesn't appear yet. Weight of what? You can say time, you can say weight of agenda, weight of becoming. Different way you can use the word, but when we do not have hook, there's a clear sense of, I can use a different word, but freedom. Because when we have a hook, funny enough, I can say, because of the hook, in a sense we are hooked. When we do not have a hook, we simply free, no weight, freedom. And I said there's no time, but also it's not like a usual heavy sense of I, my, me function, not yet. It's not sleeping or dead, of course, we are awake. Like if we can remember Lumpo Sumedo, not very often, but sometimes he used the word pure subjectivity. I can say he would say pure consciousness, but also sometimes he said pure subjectivity. Subjectivity, yes, awareness is there. It's not like a dead or sleeping or ignoring or running away. Awakefulness is there, but it's not engaged in anything, not to be lost in agenda yet. So subjectivity or awareness is there, but pure in a sense, not to be lost in the world of hook, not be lost in the world of samsara. So now it's very difficult to stop the talk, but I have to. When I say this kind of topic, also I often say doing nothing or non-doing. When I say this non-doing, non-hook, is it negligence or denial? No, negligence, denial, or laziness. This is another kind of hook. Just I want to say. Great example. Lumpo, Liam, or Ajahn Nyanarato. They have lots of responsibilities, but they can function without or with much less struggle. When we see Lumpo Liam, we can't. If I use a bit stronger word, he's like empty, and we expect something, some reaction from him, something to hold. But when we say Lumpo, this is a big problem. Maybe right. There's nothing. He says. If we say there's nothing, it's just like a Dhamma. Pretending something, but if he says, we know he means that. And yet, of course, he is the head of the leader of the entire Wat Papon community. Many things to do, many things to solve, but he's not affected. My poor cheap simile is as if no hook. And yet he functions. So when I come back to the simile, we have a conditioning, we have a word. So it's not like a dismissing or suppressing or ignoring. But water is there, fish is there. But we are safe if we know the way, the place of non-doing or the place of no hook. Instead, if we only function always having a hook, surely we become exhausted. Because once we have a hook, totally, then we get something, sometimes. What we desire, we get, but sometimes not. So once we live in the world of hook 100%, sooner or later the story continues to the place of success and failure, gain and loss, this side and their side. All the painful story is there. I'm not saying we should not think to strive, endeavor to solve problems, improve the situations. of course, significant. Even it's not like a dismissing a samsara. Dismissing a samsara is, I say again, it's another kind of hook, or if you like, vibhava tanha. It's not like this at all. But once, if we know the way, the place of non-doing, or no hook, then it will be safer, freer to experience the fish. We can function better. It's safe to function, safe to be with various conditioning. Challenging, easy, desirable, unexpected, possible, inevitable. But if we know the way, and if we cultivate the way of no hook, then you see the one who see the danger of the samsara, but we know how to see the samsara, how to relate to the samsara, instead of intentionally, unintentionally lost in the world of samsara. Okay, it's getting late, so I stop now. Okay, thank you very much for listening.